So, how are you? How is it going?
I'm good. I'm still working with Top Shelf. It's
Hmm.
going good, but like it's always startup life, right? A tough situation, but can turn into really good situation within a week. So overall, quite good. Let's see.
Yeah, actually, I saw your app's video on LinkedIn. I think
Mhm.
it's really cool. You can just paste the link of a product and it just does its magic. So, yeah, I think it's really
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's one of the features. It's like a full like sort of Goodreads for beauty kind of a app. We start with beauty, but like we want to tackle all of e-commerce. By the way, it's the first time I'm on any podcast or something. I don't know how to approach this.
It's fine. I think like we can have a normal conversation and then I can just record it. That's it.
Oh, okay, okay.
So let me jump into my questions and
Mhm.
let me ask you like where are you from and what is your educational background?
Okay. So I'm from India, Goa. You must be knowing
Hmm.
Goa. So I'm originally from Goa. I did my bachelor's in Jaipur, NIT Jaipur. It's popular in India. I don't know if people here know. And then my core studies is actually mechanical engineering. I'm a mechanical engineer. So
Hmm.
back in the day, I was very passionate about cars and stuff. So I did mechanical engineering, and then I worked in Bajaj Auto, again, motorcycle company that is famous in India. I was taking care of, actually, funny enough, I was taking care of their production robotics department.
Hmm.
Like I was working there, where our job was to walk around in the whole plant and then see what are the inefficiencies and how we can sort with automations and robotics. So I was working in that area, and do after my work there, I sort of had a one break year where I was like, okay, I want to explore something new. So actually, that's when I decided to come to Germany. I was like, I needed some new inspiration, so I thought I'll just travel, and that's when I came to Germany. I took admission in masters here in Germany, but the core reason I came was just to travel back then. So I thought I'll do my masters, travel Europe, and just go back. But then I kind of uh, loved the whole lifestyle and also the work culture, so I just stayed back. And after my masters, which was also mechanical engineering, I joined company that builds software for mechanical engineering. It's like a CAD CAM software,
Hmm. Yeah.
because it still was related to my background. And that's actually where I got into the software side of things, because that's when I realized I also got inspired, because there was this big wave of startup entrepreneurship 10 years back. So I thought I want to found, and then I thought if I want to found a more accessible area is software than to start with the hardware to building, like rather than build an automotive company, it's easier to build a software company. So then I got into software, and yeah, from there I decided to try out new things, and yeah, uh, then the whole software journey started.
Nice. That's amazing. Actually, the inspiration of trying something new, it brings people from somewhere to somewhere. So it's really nice to see how you transited from a mechanical engineering background to a software engineering background. So that's
Yeah,
cool. That's really
yeah.
cool.
The whole journey from there. Also, I sort of iterated my journey from there
Hmm.
as well. Like there in the I was still not understanding the business. I was doing more techie stuff. So then
Hmm.
I decided to join another startup. One of my colleagues or friends from my time at Fraunhofer IPT. He had started a company, and he was looking for the first sort of product manager plus person who builds the tech team. So I joined, and I built the product and the tech team plus the whole product from scratch. That's where I learned how to build something from scratch. I didn't code there yet. I was just looking into how to understanding how to take an idea or vision of a founder and then convert it to action, like a product that works. And we built a product that was very deep tech for manufacturing industry, for frontline documentation, automation or workflow automation. Also it had augmented reality, AI, so it was very deep tech, so it was super cool experience and I learned a lot. Yeah, and then I thought, okay, now it's time to get into the sort of big league of startups. So I decided to come to Berlin, took on full time like product lead roles.
Hmm.
The first one was more it was a rich experience, but it was still like one of my first startup experience, and I
Hmm.
built everything from scratch. So here in new companies, it was more like stakeholder management and slightly bigger teams and stuff. And during that time I also, like on the weekends or in the evenings, I used to learn flutter coding myself, or I used to do some AI courses. I used to kaggle, so I kept myself busy during COVID times when there was nothing else to do. I was always tinkering with something, and then that's how I got into coding as well. Yep, so that's the whole journey up until top shelf. Yeah.
Nice. I think the entrepreneurship was already there in you somewhere. It was just like somehow coming out and like as a role of a product owner in one startup, and then slowly you also gradually started something in the weekends, and then now you are a founder. So I would like to know, why did you decide to be a founder, and how was the
Yeah.
journey so far?
Yeah, actually, um, yesterday there was a panel talk, and there was a very similar question of what was the turning point, and there are actually two turning points. Like the first one, which really put the seed in my head, and it's probably for many of us, is the Steve Jobs biography,
Mm-hmm.
and this is way back. 12 I think 12 years back or 13 years back that I read the biography, and something resonated in me that, oh, this thing of building products from scratch, and it can be really a lot of fun. So that's when, I mean, that seed was there. I think I was always thinking I was not ready, I'm not ready, I need to learn more. And I guess 2 years back, when I decided to leave my job, I was still not finding what I wanted to do exactly in corporate jobs, and I joined Antler.
Mm-hmm.
So that those two events were the turning point. Yeah, yeah,
And how was your experience with Antler? I mean, I know a
yeah.
lot of people want to go there, but the process is really hard, and I heard good and bad things about it. So, how was your experience?
Yeah, I mean, for me it was quite good. I think for me, first things, actually my wife was the one who introduced Antler to me. She met someone on a flight or something who was past Antler and had an exit, and then she was like, okay, if you want to do found something rather than be clueless and just start with nothing, why don't you join Antler? And at the same time, incidentally, I got a message from Antler in my inbox, and I was like, okay, let's apply. I was about to leave my job. I applied, and within like 2 3 days they got back. I had the interview, and they just called me to join like 2 days before the program started. I was really impressed. I was like, wow, these guys work fast. I really like that. So I joined. I was like, there's nothing to lose, let's see. Regarding the experience itself, I would say it's very exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very intense. It's kind of like, first of all, you're paired with some of the best people who want to found there, and it's like a competition, kind of like, I wouldn't say Squid Games, but something like
Yeah, you have to grab the nice person as a co-founder for you.
yeah. So you have to find the right person, and then you need to pitch, and it's all exhausting. There's a lot happening. It's like a reality show kind of thing.
Nice,
But
a live one.
yeah, exactly. And then you're going through tens of like many ideas, like maybe 20 30 ideas. You're going through the idea, validating, pitching, and then they tear it down, and then you start founding with someone else, and then that constellation doesn't work, so then you sort of break up and you meet someone else. So it's quite an intense process, but I guess overall I came out like it was very positive because I went
Mm-hmm.
with nothing. I went with no idea, no co-founder, no money, and I came out with money, co-founder, idea, a big network, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have only positive things to say.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the partners have been super helpful, so everything has worked out well for me. Yeah, but I understand that it could be an intense process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. I think you had a really nice journey so far, and
Mhm.
also top shelf is still which you are pursuing now. That means like it's been a nice journey for sure. Yes. I mean ups and
Absolutely.
downs. Yes.
Ups and downs. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it's startup life, so of course.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
so what is top shelf and like what is your role in it?
Yeah. So Top Shelf is AI and people powered platform for product discovery of e-commerce products.
Mm-hmm.
And we start with beauty and skincare vertical. So think of it like Goodreads or Vivino
Mm-hmm.
for beauty. Like you can just log into the platform and get matched to people similar to you, see what products they use, people with similar skin tone, skin type like oily or dry, and then see exactly what products they use, because this market is really whole space is very crowded. Like like around 30,000 products, new products launch every now and then all of people get confused because influencers try to promote it, the products that um, get sponsored. So there is
Mm-hmm.
no honesty. So when you see what products other people are using, then you know, and that too in a really easy to understand UI. And nowadays AI tools are perfect at summarizing, right? So even summarize as to what products are used by what type of people. It makes the user journey to buying very simple, and that's what we are
Mm-hmm.
doing. This is our consumer app, and on the it which is completely free to use, even with AI. Our AI features are also free to use, but on the brand side is where we monetize, where brands also benefit from understanding their user base, of course all GDPR compliant and stuff, and they can also sort of study what are the new products they need to launch, how to market them, and all those sort of things. Also in future there'll be affiliate marketing and other revenue channels via brands, so that's the whole platform. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So is it like just focused on German brands or all over world brands?
We start with Germany,
Mm-hmm.
um, because we wanted to validate an idea in a market,
Mm-hmm.
but you can expect it to be all over the world within like um, the start of next year or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you are the technology and the product uh,
Yeah.
chief, right?
Yeah. Marietta takes care, my co-founder, she takes care of business, fundraising, marketing, sales. Yeah, sales. And I take care of product, tech, and finance.
Oh, wow.
I mean, not much finance at the moment, but just basic whatever is needed. But
Mm-hmm.
so that's how we do it. And yeah, but most like 90% of what I do is product and tech. 95% even. Yeah.
So from designing to developing to deploying everything.
Yeah, kind of. So we hire freelancers when we need, for
Mm-hmm.
example, designing and stuff. And now, right now, for some of the web platforms, you don't even need designers
Mm-hmm.
for the first prototype, so to say, because of AI tools. But yeah, designing, checking, prioritizing the what needs to be built. Of course, Marietta has a big role
Mm-hmm.
in what features we build as well, because she's one of the prime users, and also the idea originated from her. But like deciding how to build features, what features may do well, what to prioritize, that, and the tech part as to how to build it, what stack to use, what architecture to use. Yeah.
You
Uh,
took care of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And this is a B2C platform, right? So business to customer.
Yeah, it is a B2C and a B2B platform. So the app
For
is
the
B2C.
brands.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And right now we are not pitching as a B2B yet because we are waiting for a critical mass before we can. We have pilots from brands, but we are both B2C and B2B platform. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So for B2C, like I actually had like more experience with B2B companies, but
Mhm.
how about B2C companies? Like how are the different? Do you have to talk to a lot of customers, or do you have to collect a lot of feedbacks from a lot of people who tried it and then you implement it, or like how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean B2C is a bit tricky because B2B you have usually design partners who
Mm,
actively work with you and they also benefit directly. B2C is more numbers game. So it's understanding signals from the market uh, and then building something and then testing and extracting signals from how users behave on your app. Uh, of course, you can do some surveys, you can have some user interviews, but the number or the volume is just different, right?
mm,
So let's say 10 users might tell you, oh, I need this feature, this is my pain point, but it might happen that when it comes to hundreds, this is not what everyone wants. So it's also you have to mix qualitative research with quantitative being your data, how product analytics, like who is clicking where, how many times, and then also understanding which features they use in the app and which not, and then combining it with the qualitative signals that you get. Yeah, so
mm-hmm.
that's a major difference as compared to B2B, where it's more qualitative, that you can work with design partners to solve something. Yeah.
So you have a group of testers or test users.
Actually, we have launched the app.
Mm-hmm.
So we have launched the app and we have almost 2000 total users and more than 1500 active users.
Wow.
And we are also in like we have also have a WhatsApp group which we send via mail for people who are interested in actively interacting with
Mm-hmm.
us, right? And then we regularly check what the users think about the app. We send surveys and stuff. And also recently I learned from another podcast that just having a chat feature inside the app where
Mm-hmm.
they can just write to you, it helps a lot. So I'm planning to also do that so that they can directly write to us and say, oh, this is cool, this is not, I need this, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful because can whatever they are doing on the spot in their phone, they can
Yeah.
just chat it out with you and maybe tell the things on the spot. So yeah, that's a very good idea. That's nice.
Yeah, I liked it as well. I was like, there's this guy called Nikita Beer. He recently came, not recently, but it's 6 months back. He came on this Lenny's podcast.
Hmm.
Was a really cool how he built a couple of apps and scaled them and stuff. It was a nice podcast.
Yeah, the product person, right? The
Yeah,
Lenny,
yeah,
the product person.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then you hear a lot of other podcasts as well. Then okay, I got to know that.
Sometimes when
Okay. Yes. So, as you said, like you have built a lot of MVPs from idea to MVPs. So, what
Mhm.
are some of the do's and don'ts that you suggest people while they're doing their first MVP?
do's is, yeah, and do some sort of market research before starting. That's
Hmm.
definitely a do. Don'ts is don't waste too much time on it. At some point, you need to put the pen down and start coding and start building. Not necessarily coding, or if you want to use AI, use AI. If you want to use no code apps, use that. But at some point, you need to build something and test it out with real users. And I guess that's the most important lesson, that test your first MVP as soon as possible with your test users. That's definitely how you should approach it, because you can always iterate from it or learn from it or even scrap the project. rather than just thinking and evaluating for months, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And you also worked on like B2B products and B2C products right now.
yeah,
So some people say that you have to understand completely what user wants and everything, and then, or you sell to them first and then you start building your product. And sometimes people say like, no, just build the product, let them try, and then maybe then you get the feedback and then you work on it. So which method would you say good for B2C or B2B, or I think both of them or something like that?
yeah. There is no absolute right or wrong answer. The whole question comes down to how fast you can test your hypothesis or assumptions. In my opinion, there is a difference between startups and companies. Like companies, they already have a working product and then they want to just build a feature where researching, understanding users is more critical. But when you have absolutely nothing, I guess a combination of both, that research and build simultaneously, is a better approach, because then users can concretely see and use and understand what you are building, rather than otherwise they will always, there will be a difference about what they think your product is and what you think your product is, right? So I guess I'm always a proponent of ship fast, as
Mm-hmm.
fast as possible.
Yeah, I think that's also a very good point. When you talk to a customer and then you are saying like, okay, this is going to work like this and this, you are just putting some imagination in their head, and that might be different from what you have in your head.
Yeah,
So that's a good idea to have something like even a no-code solution would work. So
yeah,
have
yeah,
something and then just show them and then decide what to do.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good summary. Yeah.
I think that's a very good suggestion for a lot of people who are just struggling between this thing, because we struggled a lot when we were,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I was in roboticos, I was always constantly thinking like, should I build something and then we can just show the whole product to them? But
Mm-hmm.
then it was like a lot of iteration which I had to do once I talked to customers. So there was a long run of iterations a lot of times. So I think a no-code solution would be better in this case to have
Yeah.
a first glimpse.
Yeah. Also, I would say it depends on the products. For example,
Hmm.
Robotico is probably a deep tech solution where maybe slightly more okay, this is a very good way to summarize. Check how complex it is to build a minimum, whatever, minimal viable or
Viable
lovable
product.
product. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because like I worked in earlier the mechanical engineering software and all, and there it made sense to understand more, because the algorithms were very complex, so it didn't make sense to build something that they didn't want, right?
Hmm.
That's the thing, like how complex is it what you're building. If it's complex, probably understand better earlier. If it's not, then just you can just put up a no code solution and show them. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think for B2Cs, it's always good to have a small thing showable and testable, and then give it to users, and then they'll anyways tell you the feedbacks.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. And you are building a mobile application, right?
yeah, one of, like, we're building a web as well, and we are building an insights platform as well, but yeah, mobile is one of them.
Okay. So you started with web, of course, right?
No, started with mobile. We went mobile
Oh,
first. Yeah.
okay. So how is your experience with mobile application? Because I'm not sure if you built it before.
No, I built one before. It was only
Ah.
like side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I That's how I learned Flutter.
Mm.
So I used Flutter for the cross-platform this app. We also have a team in India that does it. I decide the architecture and
Mm-hmm.
I code the difficult things that are needed, some backend or AI and stuff. But most Flutter stuff is dealt by them. And yeah, so I use Flutter for mobile app, and then yeah, so far it's a great experience. I have nothing to complain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you decided like the tech stack based on like your knowledge, right? Like,
Yeah, and I actually chose to learn Flutter after some research,
ah, okay.
because this was 4 years back, and Flutter really has a native feel
Mm-hmm.
compared to React. Though the name is native, it's more a web. uh, it's more suitable for web, and it's also there's an architectural difference that makes Flutter seem more fast and lively, and the animations are smoother and stuff on mobile. Yeah, but that's one of the reasons we chose Flutter for mobile. But for web, we won't use Flutter. We are not using Flutter for web. We are using Next.js there.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think next year is the almost recent one. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
yeah,
it's very hard to decide what tech stack you use normally because you have so many options. And
yeah,
that's why I was interested. Like most of the like even if I was doing it, I would do with which I am more comfortable with.
yeah.
So I think that's most of the people how they go. So yeah.
Yeah. But I wouldn't change anything. I still think
Hmm.
for mobile apps, Flutter is the best cross-platform framework.
Hmm.
Uh, of course, it's a everyone thinks like maybe React, or there's also Kotlin multi-platform. But yeah, I think for me, I'm quite happy with Flutter. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I actually never developed a mobile app, so I have no
Okay.
idea. Yeah, but that's good. I learned something new now.
I've also heard that if you have big enough teams or two developers, one Android, one native, then you can just go iOS native, Android native, and that's the best experience for users.
Hmm.
But I am super happy with Flutter so far.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean once you need some other things, then you can maybe go further and change it. But for now, I think if it is fine, then it's fine, of course.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I see you have a great experience as a head of product, product manager, and these kind of other roles.
Hmm.
And now, when you are a founder, how do
Hmm.
you see that experience converting in this space? And what kind of things that you learned as a product owner or a product manager are applicable here?
Yeah. Um, Interesting. The funny thing is that I mean there are things that you can you learn as a product manager which are super useful, like prioritization and evaluating, estimating how much any building something would take, how much time it would take, then business value of building something, and then there are things like OKRs and stuff which are very helpful in deciding what the vision of the company should be, that you are building the right things and prioritizing ruthlessly. So I think those are the things that from product management that I will definitely take, like those are super valuable. On the other hand, some of the things you need to also unlearn. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Compared to what you do there, for example, there it's more about stakeholder alignment, like discovery, like you do product discovery, align everyone, take everyone's buy-in, and then convince everyone that this is how we should go about. And here you just this will you just look at the data and it's like, oh, this makes sense, and you just build it. And by the time uh, something would have been documented in those companies, we already have built it, right? We have already built it and deployed it in a week. It's out there. So I think that's the difference basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And is there anything that you use for customer boosting kind of that you use somewhere in the other companies and you applied the same thing here? For example, like creating some features or
Yeah.
something which you did in the past and you repeated here as well.
No, I think here this is just a standalone thing. Nothing I did before feature wise helped here.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's helping me is the AI. I learned AI before. Now it's in trend and everyone's using AI.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned it more for fun and math way back, like Andrew and G courses, or
Mm-hmm.
like I did some Kaggle. This is platform where you can compete.
Mm-hmm.
But and I guess what it's helping me right now with is understanding how AI works and what features can go where, and how can I use it efficiently. I think that's what's helping from my previous learnings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is one of the important features for your product, right? AI
Yeah.
support.
Yeah. Yeah. we are building, like, we just started with the AI feature, which I put the screen video, but like we are coming with, I think for us to succeed and the users to use the product more and more, we have to build like very innovative solutions, like a recommendation system, but not the traditional one, but integrating LLMs and stuff, which is I think not. I mean, there is a lot of LLM hype, but very few people are doing it in B2C. So yeah, I'm quite excited about those features also, building them in the future in the next 1 year or so. Yeah.
Interesting. I think AI, as you said, like it's been too hyped, but I think
Hmm.
if it is used in the right way, then of course it is really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you worked in a manufacturing kind of environment before, and now you're working in a completely different industry, which is a beauty industry. So,
Hmm.
how do you keep yourself motivated for this new startup that you're working on?
What motivates me the most is not necessarily the industry part, but the product part.
Mm-hmm.
And um, what I did there was I solved technology problems, and what I'm doing here is I'm solving technology problems. Like 90% of this time, I'm solving technology problems, and if at all anything, that only gives me an unfair advantage because this domain is not very technology heavy yet, right? Like if you're building a chatbot, or let's say the next electric car, um, there are it's there are techies already working day and night on it, but nobody's working on this vertical, which is, I mean, people are working, but it's not as much as building the next let's say lovable, or like chat GPT or whatever. So I think um, if we can get technology and make it seamlessly available for users here, the potential of growth is and success is quite high, and that's what's motivating. Yeah.
Hmm, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I think seeing it in this perspective is really helpful for me because I
Mhm.
also had this question like why I care about this particular thing which I'm building. So
Mhm.
I think your answer really helps me in that. Yeah.
Glad it helped. I guess it's mm, like I also like to play chess all the time, and I guess what makes me happy is solving puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's what I'm doing here. Puzzle of solving how consumers behave, puzzle of how I can build something fast, how I can use all the tools. Yeah, so that's the fun part. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice way to see it actually. That's really amazing. Yes, I learned something.
Yeah.
So I think you met your co-founder in Antler. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
that's very clear. But what
Yeah.
did you see in her that you thought like, okay, she could be a good co-founder for me?
Yeah, I remember that she was pitching some other idea first, and the partners were not very interested in that idea. And they told her that, okay, we are interested in investing in you, but the idea is not what we are very keen on. And then she went and changed the idea just 2 days before the IC, and she redid the whole pitch deck and just pitched it alone. Um, and back then her co-founder, like we were matched in we were in different teams, and I was pitching with another team that also got funding, and she was going to pitch with someone who left, but still she did not give up. She pitched the new idea, and she had two sleepless nights, and then she pitched it last moment. And I remember the pitch also, it was very like she pitched it really well, like with energy, with passion. So I thought there is something there where this person won't give up, which was very important for me, that someone is not doing like a side hustle, but they are doing this 100%, and they are 100% committed till the end to the success of this. And I saw that. I guess that's when I decided, yeah, let's give it a shot. Yeah.
And how it has been so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Of course, there are over time you realize that your approaches are different to
Mm-hmm.
things, and the way you build is like way you operate is also different. Um, but I see that the core um, vision to make this successful is still the same. So
Mm-hmm.
that's super nice, and we're going strong, and we're doing quite good. We both are operating separately, but also on the same, like separately, as in what I mean is I do more product tech, she does sales and fundraise and stuff, and but still we that's a very nice balance. So uh, we are doing quite good.
Nice, really nice to hear because you have a separate responsibilities and also you sometimes like collaborate with each other based on like features or customer reviews or whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that's
yeah,
a healthy relationship for sure.
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, and also we have like at least 3-4 days in the office,
Hmm.
1 or 2 days home office, and that also helps that we don't necessarily have meetings all the time, but we are over lunch or just in the office, we'll have a chat about what needs to be done, how we can approach this or that. So that's also very nice. I think that's where being a solo founder is quite hard, right? You must have seen it. It's always nice to have a co-founder. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and especially with different skill sets, which
yeah,
matches,
yeah,
which really work well together. So yeah,
yeah,
that's
for
true.
sure. Yeah.
And my last question to you is,
Mhm.
what advice would you give to someone who is building a B2B mobile application, a B2C mobile application? Sorry.
B2C mobile application. So first, I thought of um, like there are many things that I've learned about this. First thing I would say is App Store optimization is important. Not only digital marketing, but App Store optimization, and also B2C mobile apps. Um, some things like launch day and stuff is important because App Store, Play Store, they seed you in ranking like top 10 apps of the day and stuff. So if you have a big launch day and you have a high ranking, then you don't need to do much marketing. I think this is important. Something that we kind of didn't do like this the first day thing. But we are actively working on App Store optimization and stuff right now. Second thing is, I guess, like you said, stack doesn't matter. Do what you're most comfortable. If you're comfortable no code, do no code. If you're comfortable with Flutter, do Flutter, React, native. It's how fast you can get stuff done. And I would say the last is figure out a way for consumers to reach out to you as easily as possible, whether it's a WhatsApp group like we had or a chat function, because users are really ready to give signals as to what direction you should go. You should just be open enough to listen to it. And that's, I would say, most important. And also, I would say do tracking, like not tracked, product analytics from day one, which we did, and luckily, and that gives us a lot of idea for what retention is, how users are interacting and stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. I think that those are very helpful tips for anyone who's building in this space,
Mm-hmm.
and especially a mobile application. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm done with my questions. I actually have a very curious question. I
Yeah.
saw like you also speak Marathi.
हा आय स्पीक मराठी. मी मराठी
Ah,
बोलतो. नाही, मी गोव्याचा आहे, पण गोव्यात मी 4थी पर्यंत मराठी मीडियम होतो. तो
okay. त्याच्यानंतर?
त्याच्यानंतर इंग्लिश मीडियम. सो
That's why. Okay. पण
हा,
तुम्ही घरात मग
हा, मी
मराठीच
घरी आमची मराठी नाही, मराठी प्लस कोंकणी
कोंकणी.
मिक्स.
Yes.
सो इट्स लाईक अ व्हेरी लोकल लँग्वेज, बट मराठी म्हणू शकतो आम्ही.
Mm-hmm.
आय एम नॉट
Actually,
मराठी, आय एम फ्रॉम गोवा, बट
Mm-hmm.
इट्स इन गोवा ऑल्सो people speak Marathi.
Mm, right. Yes. So
Yeah,
I was having this question. It's like, yes.
was fun. Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks a lot. It didn't feel like a podcast. It was just normal convo. So Good.
Yeah. Yeah, matlab like my intention was the same thing, to have a normal conversation and just feel as a normal conversation and not as a podcast. So
Yeah, yeah, it felt that way. So good.
that's nice. That's great. Cool. Thank you so much. I think I had a great conversation with you, and yeah, thank you so much and have a nice weekend.
Yeah, thanks as well. Have a nice weekend as well. See ya.
Thank you. Bye.